All right, I was recently asked if our Live Good organic coffee actually had coffee in it. So I thought this would be a great time. I want to make a real short video on some real basics about food labeling and enrichment laws. The Food Labeling, Nutrition, and Supplement Act was recently amended in 2016. It's a 298-page report. Understand when most changes are made to food labeling, it's generally because people started making buying decisions based on what they saw on the label. And many times is to quit buying certain items and buy something else. And so the food manufacturers will come to the FDA, they'll lobby, and they'll make these changes. And it's always presented to be in the benefit of the consumer, such as removing calories from fat. That's a benefit to the consumer. And the reason being is people were looking very quickly and go, oh, calories from fat. Wouldn't matter if it was saturated or unsaturated, or just calories from fat. So the new labeling law said they can now remove that. And so it helps stop people from making decisions about buying certain items based on what's on the food label. So let me just go over some basics about food labeling. Number one, under the food labeling laws, if it has a food substance on the label, such as you see here, organic coffee, by law, at least 10% of that has to be coffee in that ingredients. In other words, it can't say peanut butter and it simply be lard dyed brown with a little bit of artificial peanut flavoring in it. And that was happening back during the 60s, which led to this particular change in the law. So if it's on the label, it has to be in the ingredient. And by law, if it's a food substance that is on the label, it has to have at least 10%. So just by the label, I know at least 10% of what's in here is coffee. Now, let's go actually look at the label itself, and I'll talk just a little bit about labeling. So now we're looking at the label. We'll see that a serving size is 5.75. That's a scoopful grams. Now, look down here to the label. You're going to see the ingredients listed. So by law, what is the highest composition of this product has to be listed first, and then it goes down in amounts that's in here all the way to the end. So the least amount of a particular substance would be organic green tea. So now we see that this is a proprietary organic coffee blend. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that it's not necessarily one particular type of coffee. It may combine several different types of organic coffee into this because that's the way foods are made. If there's not enough of one particular Brazilian dark bean, they may put a light bean roast into here. So as we look at this, we know that the number one ingredient in this is organic sprayed dried coffee. We know that a serving size is 5.75 grams. And now to address, well, how much is actual coffee? Well, we know that 3.3 grams is actually coffee. So what we know in this particular product, that if you do some simple math, that 57% of this product is actual coffee. And then the rest are the other healthy components, the mushroom blend, the fiber blend. One thing that really excited me about this coffee was right here, dietary fiber. That means there's 2 grams of soluble fiber in here. And I know that because I researched what the organic acacia fiber blend was. There's 2 grams of soluble fiber, and this is just awesome for helping reduce cholesterol, helping reduce cravings. It helps give you a full feeling. And as you know, I always say, if you're going to eat something out of a bag or a box, and especially if you're a metformin diabetic, if you look at the ingredients and it's out of a bag or a box and it doesn't have at least 3 grams of fiber for every 100 calories, you shouldn't eat it. Doesn't mean you won't, but you shouldn't eat it. In fact, almost every metformin diabetic that I have personally worked with in my nutritional and wellness programs, if you can get them off everything in a bag or a box that has less than 3 grams of dietary fiber per 100 calories, you'll usually see, if they can stick to it for 30 days, you'll usually see a balancing out of blood sugar over about a 30-day period. And of course, if they add additional things like exercise and, increased consumption of fresh fruits and vegetables, that certainly helps. But it is very difficult to do in today's labeling to figure out what is nutritious and what isn't. So anyway, I hope this helps. Absolutely, the largest component in our organic coffee blend is coffee. This is the way you read labels. And just remember, if it's on the label, it has to have at least 10%, has to by law. And then you can go back here to the ingredients label. We find out that 57.5% of what's in here is actual coffee. And then another helpful benefit is the 2 grams of fiber, so for only 30 calories. So anyway, I hope that helps. And if you have any further questions, just respond back to me and I'll see if I can help you.